Now I'm doing a reverse Jordan. Take me out to the b-ball game. I can win a championship just one night. Now this is a fall classic.
Me and you, this is basketball now, buddy. This is basketball. This ain't nothing to do with baseball. This is basketball. This is basketball. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Oh, a bad reverse move by the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. Able to make the steal. This time, he's able to get the roll.
In 1990, MTV began their Rock and Jock series. It was the kind of playful yet fun, innovative television that many of us were hooked on that gives us great nostalgia about the 90s. And interestingly enough, while they were having fun, they kind of painted it as a serious game.
Welcome back for the final 2 minutes of MTV's Rock and Jock B-Ball Jam season. It all comes down to this. The title and the championship on the line. The 25-point buckets are in place, David Allen Greer. The rally caps are in place. The Violators, though, need a huge comeback. They're down by 14. What can they do?
I tell you right now, they got to start whipping some behind. If a man blocks you, punch him in the head.
1994 was an interesting year for baseball because it was the year that the Expos were on pace to win the World Series. They were 74-40 at the time that the strike started, and it was the end of baseball in Montreal. But this is how you got Ken Griffey Jr. here.
Hey, don't give up no three. No three.
No three. Forget them. They punks. They punks. They can't take the pressure. The Violators ain't having it.
Yeah.
I'm telling, homie, man, homie. Don't make me come out my suit. I'm telling you, we winning this game.
Very commendable. So, okay, so why don't you want to get married, though? I heard you say marriage is not for you.
This is not going. Y'all not going to understand this. I may not, but it's. I think that should be a reward. You know, I think that there's a lot of things in what I do. I need to know that we can get through so many things together before we go there.
I think it's a pretty commonly accepted fact these days that women are the ones that leave marriages the most. And the reason why they're leaving is because men aren't doing their jobs as being good men, I guess you could put it that way. But at the same time, you have another commonly accepted trope, or at least one that's parroted around, that it is women who benefit the least from marriage and men who benefit the most from marriage. But at the same time that you have these two conflicting factoids floating around the space, you have articles like this on social media popping up on the daily. The Telegraph asks why midlife divorce is good for you as long as you're a woman. It assumes this kind of rite of passage that men owe a woman a marriage, and you also owe it to her to have a divorce, and she gets maybe the children and maybe some support when she leaves because that's what's best for her. And in a way, men kind of owe women that. So you can understand why someone like Mario is saying, what is this tradition thing you're talking about here?
Once your situation's out there, it's like anything that happened in your relationship becomes public knowledge. It's really hard not to, right? And so, not just because of that, but also because of that, I want to make sure that we are very strong in the first 5 to 10 years of our relationship. And then from there, the reward to me is like, all right, let's do this thing. We deserve this. We earn this. Mm-hmm. Versus, oh, we should get married because it's the right thing to do. Like, no, that's not, no. I don't think in terms of societal norms, I cancel all of that shit out of my life.
Okay.
Back to the conversation we had 33 minutes ago. I cancel all of that conversation out of my life because societal norms are not normal no more.
Right there. We're not spoiled because we're just babies, if you want to call it that. We're spoiled by what our idea of what marriage was or what we were shown it was supposed to be versus the reality on the ground. If you're a guy looking at this new atmosphere now where they're telling men, hey, if a woman is upset and she's bored 15, 20 years into the marriage, she has every right to leave and go find happiness. And if you're going to have to fund a bit of it or a lot of it or a good portion of it, that's your job. So you can understand, well, if that's what marriage is, nah, I'm good.
Because societal norms are not normal no more. I'm sorry, it's crazy. I'm good.
You don't think it's backwards to have
Says who?
kids first
Says who?
before marriage?
Says who?
Based on your reasoning. You said
Says
you want.
Who?
I'm asking you.
I just told you. I just answered that.
No, but I'm trying to understand your reasoning. You said you feel like marriage is the reward. You don't think a child should be the reward?
The child is marriage. What do you mean? A child is marriage. We're going to be together forever. I'm not going nowhere. Where you going?
When I use the word spoiled in this particular video, what I'm saying is that there was an idea that we had of young women back in the 90s, in the 80s, I guess, where we thought that there was a woman that was saving herself for marriage. But in this openly sexual society where young women are free to do what they want and have babies before wedlock and get rid of children if they don't want to have them, that facade has gone. And so when you start talking about marriage, what you're essentially saying is your idea of what you're supposed to get as a bride is an outdated method. So you're supposed to be happy what you get now. And if you don't get what you were dreaming about in marriage, that's a you problem because you're spoiled. You want something that you shouldn't want. And so someone like Mario is simply telling you, hey, look, in this environment, I can get all the women I want. I can have the kids if I want to. Get married. Let's put in a good decade together and test to see how you act. And then we'll talk about it. I mean, it's logical, right? I just don't think the young women are ready for this change in logic. That modern marriage is outdated.
The bricklayers are trying to apply the full court pressure as the violators inbound the ball. Eric Neese with the inbound. Here comes KG with the push. 26 seconds left. They're looking for the 10-point opportunity. Weber will try. Oh, he did it. Now it's the violators in charge.
Does Esmeralda want to get married?
Listen.
That's a yes.
Of course, I think every woman wants to get married.
And so she's okay with not getting married.
I can't speak for her. But what I will say that is we have these conversations and we're both in understanding with each other. And we understand each other's perspectives.
So explain to me so I can understand too, right? For you, I want to understand with men.
Well, hold on, wait.
Okay.
You dodged something. I'm not going to let you dodge it. Societal norms. You said you don't think it's backwards. So that statement, you don't think it's backwards, where's that coming from you? Who told you that? Who put that in your brain?
Well, for me, for myself, I think that children are a bigger commitment than marriage. Just whether, I don't know if that's societal norm.
So hold on, let me tell you how on point I am.
Okay.
What am I doing first?
You're having children. You're having a child.
Correct.
So you feel as though that's
you just said it's a bigger commitment, right?
Okay.
So if that's a bigger commitment, and you're talking to a person who didn't have a child till he was 39. What does that say to you? I plan on being with this woman.
Okay.
You can see the smug look on Mario's face because he knows that he's already checkmated the interviewer lady. He's simply saying, hey, listen, you guys wanted the sexual freedom. You guys wanted to party into your 30s. You want to be with who you want to be with. And then you also want to have no fault divorce and leave when you're not happy. So what's the point of marriage except for me to share my resources with someone who is going to inevitably wake up one day and not be happy? Compared to what we used to see where we'd come home and there were random bundt cakes being made, pound cakes and coconut cakes, and have neck bones on a Thursday night, and there was no complaining about, no calling that slavery. All of those additional things that came with what marriage was 50, 60, 70 years ago now are seen as oppression. But if you're a guy looking at marriage, say 50, 60, 70 years ago, I'm getting married because I can have a woman who hasn't been with a lot of men. She's going to have a child for me, and she's going to cook some neck bones. And yeah, sure, I'll share my resources with her. But if you're spoiled on that idea, then those extras, those little trinkets, when they disappear, it all looks very, very different. See the Rock and Jock basketball game.
Man, seems so thick. From alley-oops to free throws, catty-coops to catty-coops. Yes, it's all a game, but only one will have a hero. We punks, and we wants to know why we ain't up.
MTV is not the joint, but them players what the point.
So it's like I'm in the paint and they is violent. But the referee ain't helping me, he just smiling. Somebody blow the whistle, or somebody stop the clock. I'm throwing up these T's, but in this game and ain't no stop. I'm not
in your mouth, not in your face. Cause whoever's got the bass, 808 is in the track. I got that Cadillac,
rappers that play it from the OUT to the cast. Letting you know on MTV, I'm out like fast. Great, you know what I'm saying?
This look that you see on Mario's face is one that you can see on many Gen Xers and millennials' faces when we look at modern day culture, from Star Wars to even modern day MTV or just rap itself. There was a time where when they did the Rock and Jock special for MTV, they got Outkast to re-record their song for the Rock and Jock special. And it was a great cut that was just throwaway culture at that time. Like, oh, did you hear that record that Outkast did? Yeah, it was really cool. And it went with a bunch of the other perks, just like you heard in past day marriages, where they would cook the neck bones and the greens and the cornbread on a weeknight, and that would be regular dinner, and you wouldn't hear all of this complaining and hemming and hawing like it's some kind of oppression. Because if it's all of that oppression, you know what? Why don't you just not get married to me? You don't have to do it. As a matter of fact, we can just have the kid together. We'll figure out something, and I'll just go to the restaurant down the street and get the soul food plate, and they're not going to complain about it. Because that's kind of sort of what it looks like when we have been spoiled on an idea of marriage that just doesn't exist, at least in the West anymore, as it once did. So what do you tell someone like Mario that's looking at this modern environment and saying, you want me to get married, when I'm seeing every other article telling women that are in their midlife quote-unquote crisis that, hey, you're not happy, divorce, cash out, and go live your best life? How about we just skip the marriage altogether? Just like we didn't solely watch MTV for the Rock and Jock special, we watched it for the music videos, and MTV said, hey, you're watching our programming. Here's an additional nugget, an additional something to enjoy. Oh, and by the way, we're going to have Outkast re-record a song, another nugget. In addition to watching what is a channel that you like already, the same can be said about what marriage was, this idealistic idea that there's a woman that's happy to see you, that she will cook for you at times with a smile on her face, and she'll be intimate with you, and she's going to be nice to you, and she's going to stay forever. Those are the little perks that made guys want to get married. If you start taking those perks away, it's not the same deal. And that's how you get that face from Mario, and you're getting an ever-growing of men that are not just single and spoiled, but looking at marriage sideways and saying, I'm spoiled because society told me marriage is going to be something, and I can clearly see that today's women have no intention of offering that. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.